We're back, people. We're back. 12 man's back, and we have got a lit show. We've got pretty much a full panel, other than D, who is jumping on, but he's running a bit late. I don't know why. I think he should be out celebrating Community Shield. Apparently, it's a trophy according to some managers. He should be happy, but he's late. Maybe he's kind of either celebrating.
Why did you email it to him? You know, Palace fans don't check their emails, bro. Like, what are you doing here?
They don't check their emails. Apparently, it does seem that way, Wolfie. It does. But look, we're back. Season's back. Community Shield's done, which we know what that means. Round the corner is the Premier League. Pre-season over, and we're all looking forward to what is going to be a mad week. Build up to the first game, week 1 of the Premier League. We're going to talk about who's ready. We're going to talk a little bit more generic today. We ain't got time. We've got too many people on to talk about everyone's team, but we are going to throw some questions to the panel so we can try and keep it fairly short and sweet. We are going to have D on, and I'm sure D's going to want to rant and rave. Wolfie definitely is going to have to talk to D. So big up to the panel. Wolfie, Billy, Errol, Charlie, Deji, Pete, LB, and of course D. This is the new panel for Race for Europe this season. There is no Dan United, and I do miss him. I do love Dan, but I do hate his football club, so I haven't got much sympathy for him. And there's certainly this season no Dan Lawless, that is for sure. West Ham are down in the doldrums, and I don't quite know where they're going to finish looking at their transfer window with Callum Wilson up front. So big up to everyone that's here. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Thank you to everyone last night for allowing us to get to 50k. Incredible. And we're now on to the big 6-0, which is mad. 6-0 next. Big up to all the panel for allowing that to be a thing as well, because this show is a massive part of the channel, and it's one that I know the guys absolutely love. So we've got nearly 300 people in here already. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and you're following every single one of these guys. I was going to start with Wolfie and D, but I'm going to wait for D to come here, because otherwise we're going to talk about it with Wolfie, and it's not going to be as fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the first question, which is, how many on this panel do we genuinely believe are in a title race this season? Because I've been speaking to a lot of people. Some say it's Liverpool. Some say it's going to be more than that. There'll be 2. Some say 3. Some say 4 teams could be in a title race, man. So let me say 5. Some say 5, like Deji. So I want to ask what we actually do believe as a panel, because I have my thoughts. And I think it'll be good kind of to start as who we actually do see as genuine title contenders. Deji, let me start with you.
Thank you, bro, and a pleasure to see my fellow brothers. It's been a minute, and Dan, it's amazing how 24 hours go. On Race for London, you were asking me about the top 4, and I was telling you, I was umming and ahhing, and then some news broke out today that we'll be taking one of LB's boys, and all of a sudden, 5 people are involved in the title race. Don't blame me. I'm just explaining to you what's happened in 24 hours. Look,
approach them legally, though, Dej, yeah, when you go to Man City.
What's that?
Approach them legally when you go after them.
Yeah, of course. Look, the truth of the matter is, I feel like let's not do the usual stuff. We know Liverpool has really strengthened. The way that Errol's doing the lean back like the Fat Joe, he seems like he's got no problems at all going on. We know Chelsea have strengthened. We know Arsenal finally got their striker, so those 3 teams definitely involved. But let's not rule out LB's team. LB's come back with some gusto. He's cut his hair as well, so we know that Man City are going to be involved in the mix. And dare I say it, lads, I will struggle to be on this show if we don't include Newcastle, who might keep Isak. If Newcastle keep Isak, they're definitely in the equation. And if Tottenham do what I believe they should do, and it's looking more and more likely as minutes pass on, and bring in Savinho for the left-hand side and potentially Eze, then you can't rule out my club from the conversation. So already on this panel, it feels like the 5 of us and then Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa who are playing a participatory role. And I don't mind that if we want to give back to the community.
Well, what about Palace, bro? What about Palace?
So yeah, I think there's 5 of us involved. I can't wait to get started. I'm chomping at the bit, and I want us to make a statement against PSG on Wednesday, and then really make the statement on the weekend against Burnley, slap them up, and then Spurs are fully involved.
You think you're making a statement against PSG? Did you watch the Tottenham game versus Bayern Munich game?
Bro, there's several statements to be made there.
Yeah, they made the statement in the Bayern Munich game.
Did you the statement? Is a yes or no? Did you watch the Spurs v Bayern Munich game?
I watched the Bayern Munich game. First and foremost, I have to say, Spurs never play well against Bayern Munich. That's not new. I mean, I remember at home we got slapped like
it was not well, and then there was that. Jeez,
that's not new. But what happened after that game, which I was really grateful for Bayern Munich for, Spurs were not interested in a winger. We were going to bring in a 10. We were going to bring in a centre back. That game highlighted the hole on the left hand side. And today, LB and LB, look, we're brothers now, so let's not do that animosity thing. Thank you very much for Savinho. And if that's opened the door for you to get Rodrigo, you could also send some love my way.
What are you saying, LB? Title race? Come on, talk to me.
Who I think's in a title race?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I always think that you're in a title race until you're not in a title race, right? So, everyone. At the end of the day, everyone starts. Everybody starts on 0 points. Leicester won the fucking league. You know what I mean? Like, what you want to go into the season with an L mentality? I think everybody should aim to win the title, right? Now, obviously, we can be more realistic about it, but Arsenal should be in a title race. City, Newcastle, Liverpool, and I'm struggling to include Chelsea and Villa. I'm struggling to include them.
Bro, how can Newcastle be in a title race, but we are?
I think they're better than you. I think they're better than you.
Oh, bro, are we doing this already?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well start.
We're 7 minutes in, and Newcastle are in a title race.
I think Chelsea are being mad overrated. I think Chelsea are being mad overrated.
LB, come on.
I think you're being mad overrated.
No,
LB, I'm the absolute opposite to you. I'm the absolute opposite to you, LB. There's no way we cannot be talking about Chelsea not being in the title race. Look at the money they've spent again this summer.
I agree on that point.
They have to be in the title race. And to be fair, we're starting first show back this season. We can't be doing this. We don't know where Chelsea are going to be. We can't be playing this now. Nah, they've had long enough now.
They should be in a title race, but I don't think they will be. Bro, you remember, they rested half the team when it was in the Conference League last year. They rested half the team, and they snuck in the Champions League. And now everyone expects them to just be in a title race straight away. I don't think
we're the best team in the world for the next 4 years. We are in a title race.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Wolfie, what are you doing here? Let this happen. This is what should be happening because we spent the whole season last year, Charlie, playing this all down.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Pete. You're right.
We should be winning this. He's saying they're the best club in the world. He's giving it the big one.
We are.
2 billion. They should be. So therefore, they should be in a title race. They should be.
We should be in a title race. We should be.
I've said it for Chelsea. Minimum third place, but in a title race right to the end. Minimum. They should be minimum semi-final Champions League. I'm putting that pressure on Chelsea right now. That is where Chelsea need to be. That is their expectation.
Top 3 finish for sure. And look, we are in a title race. There's no doubt. Look, last season we were in a title race for half the season. We're a much better team now. We've got better players. Another year's experience under this manager, and I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but we should be competing in a title race up until the last few months of the season. There's no reason why we can't. The team's good enough. The players are good enough. The manager's good enough. He's proven himself. We're not winning. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but we should be competing and putting pressure on your Liverpools, your Cities, your Arsenals.
Wait. You don't get to do this, Charlie. Pete's right.
No, I said we're in a title race.
Hold on. You're saying Chelsea are going to fall off at the end of the season based on what you just said. Be in a title race until March, blah, 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 yeah? Wasn't your finish to the season last season one of the best ones?
It was good,
out of the 20 teams. So why are you now why are you down dialing your finish to the season?
Here we go.
Because all I'm saying is
arguably your best part of the season.
Yeah, it was, and that was a very good part of the season. All I'm saying is that natural progression from last season, right? We were able to maintain a challenge loosely for 6 months. Now we need to maintain that for a whole season if we can.
You're world champions, Charlie. You're world champions. You keep telling us
we are. But
England's about this big compared to the rest of the world.
Well, hold on. We haven't competed for a Premier League title or got near a Premier League title since 2017.
Did Leicester compete before they won it?
No, they didn't. But that was a one-off fluke season. We have not competed for a Premier League title since 2017, since we last won it. We haven't even finished higher than third since 2017, right? And that has got to stop at some point. We need a Premier League title. And I do think in the next few years it will come. I'm not saying we're going to win the league next year, but we're definitely going to be in contention, and we definitely will be one of the best sides in the league. And I do think we'll finish above Arsenal, and I do think that we can give City a good run for their money as well in the league.
Charlie, why don't you just admit
let me
you're
ask
the
you
blue
this.
Arsenal?
Let me ask
Just
you
admit
this.
it.
Bro, how we blew Arsenal when we win
You're doing
trophies? And
phases. We won't win it this year, but maybe next year.
Hold
You
on a
fucking
second.
blew Arsenal, bro.
Hold on, we've won
turning into Arteta.
we've won two trophies last season.
So why are you phasing it? Why are you phasing it to the year after? Why are you phasing it then?
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying that I don't think we're going to win.
You said the year after.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to win the league next season. We'll be in a title race. I don't think we win the league. What's wrong with saying that?
So
I'm not understanding the kind of chest, because for me, with all the money that you've spent, all the players that you should be you brought in, Charlie, really what you should be saying is we're winning the league. We'll take, you know what I mean? We're winning. Or, do you know what I mean?
But I could say that, but I'd be being disingenuous and not being truthful.
No. I hear that, but for me, it's like if you're just competing, then you're no different to Spurs in a way. And just look, I'm trying to be polite about Chelsea and what they've done. I'm on the fence with Chelsea. I think they're very much improved. However, there are some gaping holes. The biggest one being your goalkeeper.
Agreed.
No serious team in the top 6 is going to have a keeper like Sanchez. Let's all and this bravado about shaking your bum for winning the Club World Cup when you played a seriously fatigued PSG. You're going to see more of a PSG on Wednesday than the one that turned up in that bloody World Cup final. Simply because they've had a break. You know, these guys have literally just played the Champions League final and then played another month of football, and Chelsea are shaking their bum. And
we didn't do the same thing. We didn't play the same amount of football. No?
You played Luka Modric, that was born in 1984 on the weekend. 1984, yeah, making him 42 next year, and you're shaking your bum like you're. See, look, well done, you've improved, but really and truly, you, Newcastle, Spurs, and Arsenal, we're all on the same page.
We're better than Newcastle, Deji. Come on, we're better than Newcastle.
I'm not sure. I think if Newcastle keep Isak,
that's the big
Newcastle I'll probably edge you.
Yeah, we finished above Newcastle last season, and they had Isak. We still beat them last season over.
Charlie, you better than Arsenal.
Yeah, I think this season we will finish above them. Yeah.
So if Arsenal are expected to be in a title race and expected to win it, if Arteta's neck is on the line, and you're better than Arsenal, shouldn't you be neck and neck with Liverpool to the end then?
Well, hopefully yes, but I don't think we're quite good enough to do that.
Hopefully.
But I think City are better than Arsenal as well. I think Arsenal will finish 4th this year.
Yeah.
I
love it.
What's happening?
Charlie.
We are so back, man.
This is ridiculous, man.
But is it ridiculous to say that Arsenal will be 4th?
I think. Listen, I'm telling you now. Yeah, everyone's overrating Chelsea, mate. Yeah, last season, yeah. No, seriously, last season you finished 4th. Yeah, how many games did Cole Palmer play in the group stage of the Conference League?
He didn't play any Conference League.
He didn't play any because they rested him, because the competition's that dead that they could play the C team and still win it. This season, they're going to have to cope with Premier League, ruthless games, and then the Champions League, where they're not going to be able to rest Cole Palmer and leave him in London while everybody else goes to these random countries and plays these teams. They're going to have to play Wednesday, Saturday. And I don't think you're going to be able to cope with that and be in a title race.
Yeah, I think
you get top 4, I think you get top 5 or whatever. I think you'll re-qualify. I don't think you're going to be in a title race, man.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
Charlie, can I ask you a quick question? Right, I appreciate and look, I'm honestly, if we don't win the league, I don't usually give a shit where people come 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. However, I do think the top 4 will be done this season. I do think the top 4 in some form of order will be Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. That's what I truly believe, right? And I hope that everyone thinks that Chelsea and City will finish above Arsenal, because that takes the pressure off somehow. Because you can't say Arteta's got to go if you think we're going to come 4th and we come 4th, surely. But for me, I think he's got to win a trophy or he goes. However, I just want to know, if Chelsea fans do believe they'll win the league, I look back in history, I don't know a team that's won the Premier League with a goalkeeper as bad as Robert Sanchez and a back line of Badiashile, Chalobah, and Tosin. That's all I'm saying. So if you get 2 centre-halves and a goalkeeper in, I think you're rocking. I think you've got a great chance. But until you do that, I don't think you'll win the league, though.
No, by the way, I didn't say we're going to win the league this season. We'll challenge and we're in the race. I agree. We need a better goalkeeper, 100%. We need a better goalkeeper. The centre-back issue is a problem. Fofana, who I think is a top player, can't keep himself fit. Obviously lost Colwell for the season. It'll be interesting whether we go in and get another one. We need to go and get another one, whether that's Mark Gurhey, whether that's someone else. We've got to go and get someone else in. But those would be my two concerns, a goalkeeper and then the centre-back scenario. However, the midfield is great. And going forward, we've massively revamped that forward line. Obviously, 3 new signings in, probably 2 more. Simmons hopefully will come. And then Garnacho obviously is inevitably going to come. We got loads of options in that final third. A lot of good players and loads of options to rotate between. So I get LB's point that, we were playing once a week technically last season with the first team and that. And it is going to be a step up to playing, your first team twice a week. But I think we've got the options and the quality and depth to deal with that.
Okay. LB, just quickly, sorry, I appreciate Billy and Errol haven't come in yet, and I do want to come to you next, but I wanted to just put this comment up. Potts, can you ask LB why he thinks Newcastle are better than Chelsea, despite Chelsea finishing above them twice in a row?
I think they're a better team. And I feel like Chelsea get going this year with Champions League. I don't think they'll like it.
But Newcastle got Champions League as well this year.
Yeah, no, but I think they've got a better team. I think they've got a better manager. I think they've got a better team.
And they got Isak still.
And they've still got Isak. And they've got one of the best midfielders in the league. And they've got a better defence than you. And they've got better goalkeepers than you. It's not rocket science, really. People just go off the name. People are just like, Chelsea, because it's Chelsea Football Club. You actually deep it for a second, yeah? You're expecting me to think that, what signings have you made that are going to make you progress massively up that table in addition to competing in the Champions League? I just don't see it.
Garnacho and the lap.
Garnacho, Gittins and that. What are we doing here?
I think what's interesting to me, and look, I'm not one who sits there and loves off Arsenal, right? I just think it's funny that we signed Zubimendi and Gyökeres and a link heavily with Eze, but Chelsea signed Delap and João Pedro, and it's like, well, they're ahead of Arsenal. Done deal. I don't get that personally. I think they've got to do a lot more than that personally. I think Gyökeres is better than Liam Delap, and I think that Eze is better than Jamie Gittins if he comes in. I think Zubimendi is a really good player for us. Everybody seemed to believe that he was one of the best CMs in Europe that Liverpool and City wanted. But all of a sudden, Chelsea have done better business with Jamie Gittins and Liam Delap and João Pedro, because that's all they've signed, right? Or am I wrong?
Their midfield's better as well.
Their midfield's better than ours, Wolf. Yeah, I agree with that, but that was already there.
Yeah, but if they've strengthened around that midfield, then that's probably the argument for it. I mean, I don't think Delap's going to be the guy leading your line. Is Pedro a straight out 9? I think he plays better slightly in the pocket. I think Chelsea should have just gone out and got a gunman, like a proven one and a goalkeeper. Then you can seriously talk about a title race.
Okay, that's interesting. Errol, you've been sitting there very quietly, my bro, just loving life. I don't know if it's because Liverpool lost yesterday and you can't be asked, or what it is, bro. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Anfield South, you call it?
That's what they do call it, yeah, allegedly. I can answer this one of 2 ways. The teams that are going to be in a title race have got fan representatives wearing black in this show tonight. That's one way that I can do this and make it a very quick end of the debate.
Let me go get changed.
The alternative way of doing it is asking you guys which one of you are confident that you can raise your hand to the statement. Do you back your team to do 90-plus points this season? If you do, you're in a title race. Raise your hand now.
Wolfie, man, what are we doing here?
90-plus points.
You're the one who said you're in it till you're not.
No. But this is my metrics. 90-plus points, and you're in a title race. If you can rock with that, put your hand up.
I can get 90.
I like the first question. I like the first one.
I thought you might. But in reality,
non-committal dead, man.
I've said that all summer. That in terms of the business that Arsenal have went and done in the summer transfer window, the fact that City have done a mad revamp in terms of the wholesale changes that they've had to have, the teams Chelsea now looking to make those improvements. Obviously, Liverpool improving some of their squad. I think there will be 2 teams this season that push that 90-point barrier, and they will be the teams that are in a title race come the end of the season. Do we get 3? I'd be very hard pressed to see 3 teams getting plus 90. but I can definitely say 2 teams around this table here will be on 90 plus points. And if you believe your team has the ability to do that, then of course you should say you're going to be in a title race. If
Who
you
are the
don't,
two you think? You think it's City and Liverpool?
at this moment in time, I only think of one. And that's just me being really honest with you. That is genuinely me being really honest with you in the sense that I think if Liverpool need to push 90 points and we get Alexander Isak, it's a done. It's a wrap. I don't know who that other team is. It could be Arsenal. Arsenal could step up to the challenge this year and really go toe-to-toe if they have to and if they find themselves close within touching distance. Likewise, it could be City. City could just come back and go back to the level that they had been 3 or 4 years ago. Overnight, almost. I'm a bit reserved. I haven't seen enough of City over pre-season. I haven't heard enough of I know you're doing quite a bit outgoings at the minute. The last week or so, you've had quite a few outgoings. I think you're going to do some late business that'll look like it'll be good business for you. But I think that there'll just be 2. There'll be 2 teams that get plus 90 points. And if you believe your team's in that bracket, then yeah, by all means, say you're going to be in a title race. But if not, I don't think there's any shame in saying we're not going to hit 90 plus points. We just want Champions League footy. I think that's valid as well.
Errol, you doing the quad?
No.
He's learned his lesson.
He's never going to do that again, man.
No more quad
He's
time.
never saying quad.
Not yet,
again,
anyway.
ever.
Not yet,
Good.
anyway.
Let me ask Billy, man. Let me ask Billy, because you've been quiet. You're wearing black, though, Bill, I think, kind of.
I am.
So maybe you're in a title race, bruv. What are you telling me?
I agree with Errol, to be honest with you. Everyone wearing blacks in a title race. No, I agree with Errol in the fact that there's going to be 2 teams that I can see taking it to the last few weeks of the season. I can see there being 3 teams that take it relatively far, and that's Arsenal, the other one. I agree with LB in terms of Chelsea. I think they are being a little bit overrated. I don't know whether the business is enough for them to actually be in a title race, but I also agree with Pete saying that they should be in a title race for the amount of money that they've spent. So I'm agreeing with everyone tonight. Everyone's making relatively decent points. But yeah, I think
other than Deji, you said you're a participation club.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Deji is being Deji in that aspect. I think with the business that Arsenal have done, I can see them taking it far, but I think they'll eventually drop off. I don't think they've got the minerals to take it all the way. And yeah, to City and Liverpool are the 2 teams to beat, in my opinion. And I think it will go down to the last few weeks of the season. Who wins it from them 2? Looking at the business they've done, I'd probably hint more towards Liverpool than Man City. But there's a 38-game season that we've got to play out, so it could be anyone.
I think the Liverpool fans are too cocky right now. Too cocky, man.
All right. I'm still not going to buy it. Do you know what I was going to say before that had me creased though? Yeah. Someone in the chat said round and said, who gassed up Jesse Pinkman? And I was
I know, man.
I
saw it.
I seen that. I just don't know about City. City are an unknown quantity for me. I'll be honest with you, because if they come back to their previous best, then they are going to be difficult. They're not necessarily the benchmark, because obviously Liverpool are defending the title, but in terms of their level of consistency, that will be the benchmark. You'll have to stay as consistent as City if you feel like you can push them to the edge. I'd have to speak to LB or watch more of City's games to really have a measure of where they're currently at, and do they look up for it again, and will Pep be able to motivate his players?
Before I ask LB on that, Deji, you said last season that Pep was done up here. Do you feel worried for City still?
I do. And I think not just me, I think other panelists, I think even LB is slightly worried. I feel like we keep, I looked at City during the Club World Cup. I saw the 3 players that they brought in, Cherky, Reinder, I can't remember the other player. And then they were looking good, and then they got slapped up and they got knocked out, and then we were bitterly disappointed. So, and then, looking at the goalkeeping situation over at City as well, with Edison, who just looks like he's just not the same Edison as a few years back. They've also got some holes in their team that needs fixing. So for me, it's not game, set, and match. Look, Pep has set such a high standard that last season was a disgrace, but he had credit in the bank. It wouldn't be inconceivable to think that City could do third again, if not slightly lower. Because if Chelsea do what Charlie is saying, Arsenal, are the next in line for the throne, and Liverpool go on and kick on. It's not, City could finish 4th, and that is the decline that I described, last season.
Okay, LB, Go on, bro. You've seen City more than anyone this pre-season.
I struggle to see how we can go from third for last season, which was a season in which we were horrendous, injuries all over the gaff, to a fully fit squad, more players, Rodri back, to fourth. I just really struggle to see how we can get worse.
Rodrigo as well.
And possibly Rodrigo as well, if you believe Fabrizio Romano. So I just don't see that. I don't see how that's possible. If that happens, something's gone seriously wrong.
Yeah, but the one thing I would say, bro, and again, I'm not wishing bad on any player, but if Rodri gets injured, which is a high probability,
he is injured.
He already is. He's injured at the end of September already.
If he's injured already, then already there's a drop off, because we know that's your linchpin. That is the main person.
Yeah, but we didn't have Rodri. Yeah, but you're missing the point. We didn't have Rodri the whole last season. We still finished third. And then we're
talking about first now. We're not talking about third.
No, this guy said we're going backwards.
I said it's not inconceivable that City could finish fourth.
So I'm asking a question. When we finished third last year in a terrible year, how, when Marmoush is settled, Cherky's in, Reinders is in, who looks like a baller, by the way, Ike Noor is here, fresh players, fresh seat, you expect me to believe my team's going to go backwards?
Yeah, but you got Forest and Spurs just coming into your club.
Hey, you'll be looking to get top 10 this season, I'll be real.
Yeah. Bro, we're just coming in and taking your best talent. You know what I'm saying? Your most potential. He's about to take your other winger.
Celtic took their best talent, by the way.
LB, you worried about losing Marmoush and Ait Nouri to African Nations Cup?
No, not at all. Bro, I dealt with this myself when we had Yaya Toure and that. Oh, I don't deep that shit too much, man. I'll be real.
Fair.
Look, I've got to be honest. I think Manchester City, for me, need to improve defensively. I don't know if you agree with that, LB. I think you will. I think you'll bring in somebody. I don't know who it will be. I think you need a new right back. I don't know who the right backs are. I've got to be honest. I think the talent pool for right backs
we're not signing another defender. Well, that's it. We're done on the defence.
Do you think you're good enough, strong enough defensively, though, LB? That's a no.
It depends who plays. I have no idea who's going to play. Is it going to be Stones? Stones is back. Is he going to play? Is it going to be Huzanov? Is it going to be Diaz?
Nunes is your right back, isn't it?
Nunes is a right back.
Lewis as well.
Yeah, the right back and the left back, obviously, defensively, are probably not the best in the world. But last year as well, we needed I don't know, man. I don't have a clue what our defense is going to be like this year. I don't even know who's going to start in net.
You can't put James Trafford in, surely. It's got to be Edison.
I would.
Oh no, man. There's a lot of our fan base wants to just put him in. So who knows, man? The thing is with City, right? We've got a lot of ifs about our season. Like a lot of ifs, a lot of question marks. Who's going to be our goalkeeper? What's Nunes going to be like? Who's our centre back partnership? Is Rodri going to be back fit? Is he going to be back to his best? Yeah, what's Cherky going to be like? Is Foden back to his best? Yeah, what's Marmoush going to be like? Is Rodrigo coming in? What's he going to be like? Like, bro, there's just a load of question marks about we just don't know, innit? So I have no idea and that's what Errol's saying.
Is that exciting for you, though? Because, look, you've had a nice
It's exciting. It is exciting, but at the same time, it's a bit shit, innit? You know what I mean?
Also a question mark, yeah. Unsure. Look, I don't. If Man City,
I'm not sitting here feeling sorry for this guy. I am.
No.
When he's like a small violin, all of these question marks. Question mark. Give me some exclamation marks to get that chest back out, LB. No.
Get me Rodrigo. Give me Rodrigo. Yeah, and then trust me, the chest will be chesting.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Look, let me before I come to D and Wolfie, Billy and Pete, very quickly. I am disappointed with your windows beyond belief. I can't lie. I don't know what you two clubs are doing. I did a video.
Yeah.
Newcastle, I've obviously spoken to Pete about it more, but Bill, I haven't really spoken to you about Villa. I don't know what Villa are doing. I know you brought in a guy now. Is it PSR problems? Are you waiting to sell someone? Are you just trying to keep everyone and just add 1 or 2 this summer? What are you doing, bro?
I've no idea. Simple as that. I really don't know.
Though, yeah? You're disappointed, though?
A little bit, but also not really.
What's that mean?
I think you look at the way Newcastle have struggled to search for replacements for Isak. And I mean, at the beginning of the window, you're talking to a guy here who at the beginning of the window would have openly listened to offers for Watkins as well. With every passing day, it's getting more and more crucial that we keep him. I think we will do now. I think overall, when you look at the window for us, it's been more important to keep our key players than it has been to bring new players in. And I think that's what we've done. We've penned Kamara down to a new contract. Rodgers is staying. Looks like he's going to sign a new contract. Obviously, looks like Watkins is going to stay. Martinez, Konza, Tielemans. These are all key players for Aston Villa that we need to keep. So, in that aspect, I'm happy that we've kept those key players. Of course, I'd have liked to have seen more incomings. Of course, I would. I don't know. I really don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's PSR. I don't know if it's the UEFA, FFP, SCR, or whatever it's called. I really don't know what it is that's stopping us from going out there and getting these new additions in. I don't know whether we're waiting or were expecting players to be sold, which would then enable us to buy new players. I really don't know.
Billy,
you're not worried you stood still, though. You've just stood still, haven't you? Because other teams are improving and Villa are just kind of... And then you're not worried you're going to get left behind? Because if you don't invest, other teams will.
I understand what you're saying, but not really. I think we've got the foundations there of the squad as it is to be a top 6, top 7 squad. And I think we've proven that. We've got good squad depth. There's a couple of positions such as right back that definitely need an improvement. Another couple of backups at centre back maybe as well. But I think the overall squad really is a top 6, top 7 squad. Of course, if you want to push on to Champions League, we need a replacement for Rashford, a replacement for Asensio. These players that came in January and had a massive impact. I'm hoping that this Gesson can come in and have that similar impact that one of those two players had. And we do need those extra additions to push us up into the Champions League spaces. But I think you look at our squad and the squad depth that we've got, it's good enough there to be within the conversation for Europa League.
Hell no.
Absolutely.
Hell no.
Billy,
Go on, did you then, Pete?
It's probably not a question. It's probably more of a statement. Billy, is this... Do you fear that your club is exercising a little bit of imposter syndrome, and also there might be a slight fear of winning? And the reason why I say there might be a fear of winning, you can't get to a quarterfinal in the Champions League and then decide to do nothing. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound like a team that wants to become. But also, Billy,
it does if your hands are tied.
You seem extremely comfortable with 6th or 7th in the Prem, and for me, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not sure this is the right space for you if that's the sort of narrative that's going to be coming out of your mouth over the course of the season. You should be telling us that Villa need to be bringing in X, Y, Z to make sure they're playing Champions League football. If you're not playing Champions League football, what are you here for?
Dead, mate. If you can win the Europa League, Villa can win the Europa League. Let's just leave it at that.
Bro, you're not winning. That's what you're not winning the Europa
League. If you can win it, we can win it.
There's one person who can't win it. D.
Billy, I just wanted to say really quickly, like that. The points that you're talking about with Aston Villa is exactly what me and Dan United were telling you the back end of last season. Is that you went all out in January. Mm-hmm. You paid out for Rashford. You paid out for Asensio. You paid out for Disasi. You went all in because it was either Champions League or bust. That was the key. And we said to you at that point that you were always going to struggle on the back end of that if you didn't get Champions League football, and you didn't. And this is exactly what's happening. It seems like to me, from what I've seen from Aston Villa, that you need to sell in order to properly invest to improve your squad. Then your squad has stood still. There's the same players are there, which is absolutely great. But I actually agree with Charlie, is that you've got to kick your team on. You've got to keep investing. You have to keep improving the squad if you're going to be in that race. Now, you could you're in a lesser competition in the Champions League this season in Europa League, so you may well get some games like you did in the Conference League where you can rest a few players and in certain games and still get through, and then go in the Premier League again and maybe surprise a few teams. But it could well go the other way. It could well go the other way, that you've got the same team, the same players, and it doesn't quite fit and it doesn't quite mix. And Tottenham are back in the race. Chelsea are there. You know, it could be that Forest are back in the race again next season. And therefore, You may well slip down.
Who?
That's
Sorry, who?
conversation for Villa to kind of look at, because it could well be that you're back in that position, but it's that wages, the amount of money you've invested. Look, we were in it last summer with PSR. We had to sell players in order to comply. You're in that position right now that if you went any further, you'd end up having to be forced to sell a Tillemans, be forced to sell a Watkins, and one or two others possibly.
This is what I mean, though. I completely agree and understand with what you're saying, but from my point of view at the minute, I would much rather us keep those key players and play on that risk almost than to have to sell one of those players to a competitor for the European spaces and then get someone that we hope can play up to that same level. I'd much rather us keep those key players and hope that Unai Emery can work his magic than have that risk at the minute that player that then comes in doesn't play to the same level as Tielemans, Kamara, whoever you want to say, and then we're worse off anyway. So,
Billy, don't let him do this to you, Billy. Because let's not forget, there was people talking about how good your squad was in January. It's up there and everything. You're spot on. You've kept the core of your team.
They've lost two players that made a massive difference to the second half. Rashford and Asensio made the difference over the second half of the season. They're both gone and haven't replaced them.
They didn't.
They
made the difference.
They did, absolutely. And I'm the first to admit that. I didn't want Rashford anywhere near the Villa. He came in, had a fantastic impact, and he's gone on to Barcelona. That's that. We've brought in this Gesson. Now, I don't know much about him. From what I've seen, he's supposed to be a top player.
Yes.
So hopefully, Unai Emery can get the most out of him and push him on to be that replacement who can chip in with goals and assists, and we can get the most out of him, and we can replace their contributions with him. Who knows, though?
And you know what, Billy? You've got Unai Emery. That's what you always tell us.
Everything's all right.
Emery.
Exactly.
So,
as long as we've got Unai Emery, anything's possible.
Okay. Listen, before I come to let me come to Pete very quickly. Newcastle, very quickly, bro. A lot of people I speak to still have you top six, still have you going for Champions League. Do you think that's fair, even if you do not have Isak or a lot of people, I don't want to talk about the Isak thing again, please. But obviously, Newcastle still got a good side, man. I can't lie. Like people make out like they lose Isak, that's it. They're 12th. Like it really isn't that, in my opinion. But what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I said it to you before. I expect us to still be in the mix for fighting for Champions League, because that's what we need to do as a club. If we want to be that team that's fighting alongside those top boys, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas in the future on a regular basis, we have to get Champions League football on a continual basis. So that is the aim. That should be the aim. Absolutely. Whether we can do that is the big test. I'm really interested to see how we finish this window. We've got 3 players through the door. Malik Charles just finished his medical. It's a really good signing for us. Exactly what we needed in a centre-back. But we need more. We're not done. I've said it to you boys right at the end of the season. I need 6 players coming into this squad. This squad isn't ready for Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. To fight on all 4 fronts, it's not ready. We're not strong enough. We're not strong enough in all areas. So I need to see my club invest in players. It has to happen. So these next 3 weeks are massive for me. I'm really all Newcastle fans are watching very, very closely. Forget the Isak noise for a second. We're all watching about what players are coming in, not what players are going out, because we need to be ready for this season it should be by Saturday, but it's not going to be. So by September the 1st, we need to make sure that we're ready to hit the ground running. So we still got play. We still need a midfielder. We still need that striker come in. Johan,
we can run you one up from South London. Don't worry about it.
Nah, not a chance. So yeah, Johan Wieser, as we talked about, good striker, experience, great coming off the back of a great season. We need a midfielder. We've got our right centre-back. We've got our goalkeeper now. Not our first choice, but he's a good goalkeeper. He hopefully steer as well so far. But we still need investments in this team. This team is not ready to fight on 4 fronts. And it goes back to the point that LB said right at the beginning that I was going to come in, but we kind of moved on, is that LB sees us in a title race. I don't for that reason. Is that what we need to do now is prove what we couldn't do 2 years ago, is handle Champions League and Premier League and still be getting Champions League football. That's exactly what I want to see from Newcastle United this season. I want us to learn from our mistakes. I want us to invest in the squad so we can do well in the Champions League. And as well as that, we can still hold our own in the Premier League. Because you're right, you look at our 11 can compete. We showed it last season. We can compete with the top teams on the pitch. On any given day, our 11 can beat anyone in the Premier League. We've proven it. But that's not enough. You need to be able to do it over 38 games and fight in other competitions. So that's the key. And stop with this free Isaac that I'm seeing in the chat. Get lost, man. Pay up the money. 150 million. That's what we're saying. These Saudi owners are clearly not messing around. Pay the money or stop with this free Isaac. Yeah. Rubbish.
Pete, I have a genuine question, and I know you've answered this about 1,000 times over the last week, but 1,001, doesn't make a difference in this instance. Look, Pete, we were crying for you when you lifted that trophy. I mean, I think I probably and we talked about how things were really promising on the horizon and how great things were going to be, and I was like, "Yo, Pete, go on, man." The thing is, you've not been able to get any of your kind of the players that you've wanted over the line. And so I'm just asking you, what is the problem? Is there a lack of ambition from your club? Are you not ready to pay the wages? Or are you still not seen as a big enough pool to get the players that you need? Because I feel like you've got all the foundation to kick on. But if you talk about bringing in 6 players, but you've been rejected about 10 or 11 times so far, over the summer, and the truth is, bringing in 6 players is probably really unrealistic, and that's not your fault. That's just something is not quite happening to get it over the line. And so, what say you on that?
Well, we're halfway there to getting 6, and we're linked with a number of other players. So let's wait and see on that. But you said about lack of ambition. I actually think it's the opposite, mate. If we weren't ambitious, we wouldn't be in the table. We wouldn't be fighting for these type of players to come through the door. So I think it's the absolute opposite. And look, I've said it throughout this summer on various channels and different pods and various other things, is that Newcastle United have had to go back to the drawing board. You're right. Some of our first choices, they haven't come to us. It happens in football. We're frustrated. We're gutted about it, but we've gone for alternatives because no top manager would have just one player that they go for, and if they don't get them, oh, that's it, we're done, can't do anything now. Of course, they're going to have multiple players that they're going to be looking at. Brian Mbeumo was one example. Second in command was Anthony Elanga. We went and got him. So like that's how Newcastle are working now. Yeah, we wanted Scalvini as our main centre back, but too expensive. We go in, cheaper alternative, Malik Chow, done. Like he's just finished his medical. That's how top teams operate. Like it's frustrating for us, and it looks bad for us because we've been rejected. And look, you can't tell me I've been through it. You guys know it because you guys have put me through it in the chat over the course of the summer. I'm in Greece. I'm enjoying my holiday, chilling by the pool, and I'm just getting absolutely rinsed because
I had your back, Pete. I had your back.
Come on, man. I mean,
I had your back.
I've been through it this summer. So
just quick question, right?
You can't tell me anything else. However, it's the thing I asked myself about the club is at what point do we look at another alternative? Now, for me, like we're coming up against heritage clubs, whether they're seen as the biggest club in the world, or they've got more money, or they've got more stature and prestige in Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. They've been the 3 teams that we've been up against. And it's going to be very hard for Newcastle, Champions League or not, to be able to attract those players to come away from that type of club. And that's just me being honest. Some Newcastle fans don't like the fact that I'm saying that, but I'm being honest. I'm saying, there is still that level of heritage and stature in those clubs that will be swayed by a particular player. And it's proved to be the case this summer. But we haven't given up and we've still gone and we're still battling on. But at what point do we then go, right, okay, this ain't working now. We need to go down to the next rung. Why are we not looking at even Gassant, who is a fantastic acquisition for Aston Villa? Why are we not looking at Calamuendo? Why are we not looking at another alternative of Mateus Fernandes at Southampton, a top young Portuguese midfielder? Why are we not looking at that rung, a player? That's the thing that I'm asking my club. Why are we not looking at that? Because there's good players out there. So that's
Mate,
just my opinion on it.
Just something real quick, Pete. I think one thing, right, is I think Newcastle should take pride from the fact that the players they're identifying are top players. Obviously, you've missed out on a number of them, but at least your scouts are identifying the right quality of player, which I think is always a good thing. And secondly, right, do you think you've kind of suffered a little bit, perhaps because, look, we know that Newcastle are a massive football club in England, but do you think you've suffered a little bit by missing out on players because Newcastle globally isn't really that well renowned? Would that be fair to say or not?
Definitely not as well renowned as some of those clubs that you just mentioned. Your Arsenals, your Man United, Cities, Chelsea's, Liverpool's. We're not. This is why we're doing pre-season tours of Singapore and South Korea, and this is why we're going to America. This is why we're starting to now do our pre-season tours across the world. We had a pre-season, an end of season match at the end of last
Australia,
season, in Australia against Tottenham, because we are trying to get our name out there. I think it's a valid point. We are trying to build our fan base and our knowledge across the globe. Boys, this isn't like City and Chelsea. I keep saying it. This is going to take longer than any other of those two to get to that point. I think Newcastle fans realised that about 1 or 2 years in, when a lot of the PSR stuff started to come about and the restrictions started to properly kick in with us, we started to realise and go, oh, this ain't a 2 or 3 year turnaround. This is a 7 to 10 year turnaround. And it's only just recently in the last 6 months that the ownership have kind of come out and said that. They've kind of come out and almost said that this is a longer term process. They're talking like a 2030. They want to be seen as that team that's constantly in the Champions League, fighting for titles and doing that. They've kind of stretched it out because the restrictions are there. People say, "Oh, you're using that as an excuse," this, that, and the other, but it's the reality. It's a reality. You've got Villa above us that are going through it. You've had Forest that have been through it as well. You've got, unfortunately for you, D has been on the receiving end because he's missed out. This is probably a nice segue. He's missed out on Europa League football, not because they didn't deserve it, but because the fact that they're not a heritage club. And
before we get into that, let me do these super chats. Otherwise, I'm not going to do them in the next section. Trust me. Big up to Ant, Forest Fan TV, absolute legend. Massive congrats on 50K, Dan. Europa sweet. We're going to get into that. And thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the super chat and the congratulations. Becky says, big up, everyone. What a panel, Dan. Errol, we're going back to back. Becky believes Liverpool back to back. PSG goalkeeper is available, says Farhan. I think Donnarumma has been linked loosely with Manchester United and Chelsea. Don't know if that is going to go ahead. Cameron says, if Manchester City get Rodrigo, I think they'll win the league. There's going to be definitely some rumours in the next couple of days about Rodrigo, which really makes me sad because I kind of want Arsenal to get him, but it is what it is. And he says the result is at the end of the day, we always win. And Dan United, we do miss you, bro. He has said, I feel like I've been kicked out on a night out. Who knew how much torture it would be listening to Billy's waffle? Big up to you, Dan. I hope you're well, bro. Look, it's a nice little segue into what I think will probably end up being the last section of the night.
Yeah, I just want to say, just before we segue, I just want to big up Pete for that last segment and also the humility that Pete showed. The fact that you was talking about the big clubs, but failed to mention that Spurs have held your hands over the summer, both the game in Australia and the game in Korea. We are doing our bit for Newcastle in trying to give you that global exposure. It's a point that skipped everyone's mind, but I thought I'd just make that very clear.
And you did do your bit as well, because we were being rejected, and then you were rejected by Morgan Gibbs White as well. So you were doing your bit. You were doing your bit for Newcastle United. Thank you very, very much for that. Dan Potts, take it.
Love that, man. Love that. That was a great comeback. Listen, big up, people. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. There's 1.7K in here. There's nowhere near as many likes. So let's get the likes up and make sure you're following every single one of these people. D and Wolfie, unless you've all been living under a rock, chat, there was something that happened today apparently around Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. And yeah, I think it would only be fair for me to go to Wolfie first and then allow D to come back with his reaction. And I must say, D, because no one's done it yet, I did text you this. Congratulations for yesterday, my bro. I hope you had a good day and a good weekend. And I hope that today didn't ruin it too badly for you, bro. So there we go. Wolfie, over to you, my guy.
Yeah, I was going to start. Congratulations on winning the friendly yesterday. So big up to you. Well done on it. Good to see you've doubled your trophy cabinet, if you call it a trophy, in a couple of months. So well done to you. But I got one question, D. Do you still think this is Marinakis' fault?
Bro, that's your whole thing. Like, you ask me a question. Say your whole piece and I'll answer your questions. Say your thoughts on the whole saga.
Well, I'm glad that law and order prevailed. I'm glad that after all your BS in the last few months, that against two courts, they both chucked you out and said you've broken the rules. You went to CAS, you went crying there. You even hired Gary Lineker for some PR, man. For some PR. And
Wolfie,
your owner.
I've been living under a rock. You're going to have to give me some context what the fuck's going on here before we get into this. I need some context because he's talking about the saga. You're asking some one-word answer questions. I need to know the in depths.
Well, I'll give you a quick synopsis. Palace won the FA Cup despite Dean Henderson handling the ball outside the area. That put them into the Europa League. They then have a multi-club ownership with Lyon and Eagle Holding Football. Lyon got into the Europa League on the last day of the season because a loaned player from Forest in Strasbourg gave away a penalty in the 99th minute, got sent off and pushed Lyon up into that position. As Lyon finished ahead and as Palace didn't do the required paperwork to get them into Europa, they were chucked out, mate. They were chucked out. They were chucked down to the Conference League. And because of that, Forest, just bystanders and all of this, Errol, we just got pushed up into the Europa League. And all summer, D's been crying.
Wait a minute, what? So as a result of them getting pushed down, you got upgraded?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Me and Billy, the Midlands boys, man. We're in the Europa next season. See you in the final, Billy.
Don't include me. I was in the Europa every day of the week.
I was in there pretty much the whole summer.
I was with the whole narrative up until the point where he said now Forest have been promoted as a result.
Yeah,
that seems dark.
Why is that dark? Why is that dark? If City had won the FA Cup, the reason that happened, Errol, is because if City had won the FA Cup, then the position goes back into the league. So technically speaking, what happened was because Palace tried to cheat, they ended up relinquishing the position into the league.
How did we try to cheat? How's that cheating?
Breaking the rules then.
How many transfers have you and John Texer done? And how many transfers have we and John Texer done between these multi-club ownership models?
You've done transactions with me.
No. Go on, answer. Don't say.
Hold on. What's that got to do with anything?
In fact, Potts. When I speak to this guy, I want this on the screen as well. Put it on the screen because I'd like to speak to him with this so he gets reminded who he sports. Because he talks like he's on top of the fish. Put this on the screen. Because when I talk to him, I want him and other Forest fans to realize who they are. So, when is the last time? This is the only way to address this guy because he talks like he's supposed to City or Chelsea or one of these big clubs. You just have to realize your place in the fish. You're small fish. You're small fish in this. So, anyways, how many transfers have we done in this multi-club ownership model? Because you lot love talking about emails.
O'Brien, bro. What are you saying to me?
Jake O'Brien to Lyon. You lot, on the other hand, probably over 10, 15 transfers between Lyon, Botafogo. In fact, let me speak now. You spoke.
Name them.
You spoke. I didn't interrupt you when you spoke. So, in fact, most recently, you just done a transfer between Matt Turner, between Forest and Lyon, and then afterwards, the transfer got cancelled. Forest are known to be a dodgy club. Forest are proven cheaters.
I got to cut you off. Don't spit your lies out.
I'm not spitting my lies. Forest
had to get the lawyers in, bro. It was been off.
Did it get cancelled? Whoa. Did it get cancelled?
Okay, am I going to talk?
Just don't lie.
No, I'm not lying. Hold up. You didn't let me land my point. Did Forest not get points deduction for cheating and breaking the rules?
Yeah, and did we get punished?
We've been
And did we get punished?
So all this stuff about us cheating, we haven't actually cheated. We haven't broken no rules. You have literally broken rules. You literally, luckily, stayed up a few seasons ago. But one season of good football has got you all hyped up like you're that team. I'll be honest with you. Go look at your 7-8 games. Look at the last 2-3 months. We've won more trophies than you scored goals in pre-season. In the last 2-3 months, we won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. You've only scored 1 goal in the last 7-8 games. But you're on here talking to me like you're that team. Why are you playing a double act? Because on your channel, you're the one that's crying. You're saying, oh, wait, Nuno, oh, we're going to get worried. But then on here, you're putting your hand up on stream when you're talking about, oh, could Forest compete to win the league? As I said to you, Wolfie, this game works with others, but it's not going to work with me. Because you've literally been proven to be cheaters and got points for the deduction. We've literally won more trophies than you scored goals in the last 2-3 months. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why you're playing in the Europa League is because your owner's a snitch. But the funny thing is, that's not going to change anything about us, because us playing in the Conference League, if you asked me a year ago to now, would I rather play in the Europa League? 100%. I don't know what Palace fan would rather play in the Conference than Europa League. But if you asked me a year ago, which Palace haven't played in any European competition, would I take the Conference League? Yes. Conference League, FA Cup, Community Shield. I would have never imagined this. Never imagined it. So I'm still happy about the situation. But in all honesty, this might sound salty, but I genuinely mean it. I hope for everyone, for football's sake, Forest get relegated, because you lot have been a dodgy club. I really hope that. I really hope that. Because the reason because
put the gun down. Put the gun down, man. Put the gun down.
Hold up. I haven't finished my point. Since the 2000s, Forest are known to be a championship club. They're known to be a championship club, but apparently Forest won the Champions League back when Wolfie wasn't even alive, and now all of a sudden,
twice.
It doesn't matter, Wolfie. We don't care about when TV was black and white and what you done there.
Bro, you've forgotten the playoff trophy. Remember the playoffs? The playoffs, remember that?
Yeah, they beat Norwich in the playoffs. That's what they're known
for. It wasn't Norwich.
Comes on here and he talks like he supports that team. Wolfie, you have that team that you support. Were that team when you're alive, but they're not that good right now. They're not that good right now. And the only reason why you're not playing in the Conference League and Europa League, which you bought the Champions League as well, is because of snitching. But as I've said, I'm very happy. I'm actually so tired today as well, because I celebrated the Community Shield. I celebrated the FA Cup. I think Liverpool are a great side, but the fact how we played in the second half against all of those attackers, I think is a credit to Glasner and the team. And I feel like we've got more in our locker to go and win. Have you even got goals in your locker, let alone wins? Because you've only got 1 goal in the last 7-8 games. But you want to talk here, talking like you're going to win the Europa League. You ain't winning next year, or the year after, unless you get relegated to the Championship. And that's the reality. So next time you come for my football club for cheating, check your mirrors, because you've been accused of cheating. We haven't operated in a multi-club model. John Texter has been literally on public record talking about he has no decisive influence, and he's been trying to sell his shares. If a guy's trying to sell his shares, you can't put your shares in a blind trust, because you can't sell those shares.
Lies.
That's the reason why it didn't happen.
Well, stop. You can't sell. Hold on, D. You can't sell shares when they're in a blind trust. Are you sure?
That's what John Texas said.
Oh,
I don't know. You should know better.
You believe?
You should know better than me. Educate me. You should know better than me, because John.
You can sell shares in a blind trust, Habibi. You can sell your shares in a blind trust. And
so why did John Texter say that?
Okay, so don't. So now you do trust John Texter. Do you trust him or not? Do you like him or hate him? Which one is it?
I don't like him. No one likes him.
Oh, but you trust when he says he couldn't sell his shares in a blind trust, yeah?
Well, then he was lying.
Because he was lying to you. And you're stupid enough to believe it.
He's a dodgy guy. He's a dodgy guy. But that's the thing. Two dodgy people love working with each other. That's why Maranakis and John Texas done so much business.
At least they know how to check an email, bro. At least they know how to check an email.
That's what it is. And that's what I'm saying. Next season is going to be humbler for you, because next season you're going to be fighting relegation. You won't be in these conversations. And when you do go fight relegation, I don't talk like my team is a top 6 or top 4 team. But the reality of the situation is, I will talk when I can talk. We have beaten City in a final. We've also beaten Liverpool, not in a final, but it was in a big game with all that. And I will big up my team, but you're bigging up your team based on you bottling the Champions League. You only had 1 good season in the last 25 years, and you want to chat on here like you're that team. Respectfully, know your place in the food chain, because you're not that team.
Okay, you done?
And that's it.
Done? So you said Forest have had 1 good season in 25 years. You've had 1 good season in 125 years, bro. And you're talking like you won something big. Your FA Cup that you're there glazing about, I got 2 of them. I got 2 of them, bro. I got 4 league cups.
When?
I've got 2 Champions League.
When?
I got a league title. Your
When?
FA Cup gets lost in my cabinet, bro. So
When?
you can go and you can show your armpits all you want, yeah? But I would lose your FA Cup in my trophy cabinet. I get
What
that
does it
you
think
might
about you
lose
if you're
yours
deluded?
in your trophy cabinet with your little shields and that little ball you have in there and all these random, decorative participation trophies. I get that. But talk to me when you have some proper majors in that trophy, bro.
The
And
thing
secondly,
is,
let's go on to this decisive.
I got majors
thing.
in the hold on. Let me reply to that. You said talk to me when I got majors in the trophy cabinet. FA Cup is not a major trophy. You literally saw us win it.
Is
You
it
lost
as
at that
major
City
as
side
a
that we
Champions
beat.
League and a
You
league
lost at that
title?
City side that we beat. You lost at that City side that we beat. And all of these trophies that you're mentioning, were you alive? How many trophies have you seen alive apart from the playoffs that you beat Norwich back in the Championship days? How many trophies have you seen with your own eyes?
I just feel, that FA Cup trophy you've got.
Not the answer, though.
You know the FA Cup trophy you've got. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same as the 2 I have in my cabinet, bro.
No, I'm saying that's
Whatever
not the,
year
that's
you
not
want to
the-
put
that
next
was
to
not
it,
the question,
whether
though.
I was
That not the
alive
question.
or
I'm saying,
not,
how many of these
D,
trophies
you can
have you
try
seen?
to run this narrative. All right, I'll tell you what now, D. I'll offer you a swap. I'll give you 1 Champions League for all the trophies in your cabinet. Do you want to swap?
No, I don't want to swap because I witnessed it.
That's
Wolfie.
your
I was
small
there.
club
I was there.
mentality, bro.
Listen,
That's
the
your
thing, I
small
wouldn't
club
want to swap that,
mentality.
Wolfie. You know the reason why I wouldn't want to swap that? Because I witnessed my team win a trophy. I was there and I enjoyed that. You never in your life.
And it won't happen again for 125 years. I get it. I hear it. Enjoy it. Small club mentality. You're there with your Wiggins. You're there with your Portsmouths. I hear it. Enjoy it. Congratulations. I was the first to congratulate you and Rich when you won it, bro. But let's talk about facts now, because you're still going on about this non-multi club ownership. You're going on about John Textor without decisive control. Let me quote you from your own website, right? You've got it here. This is from your boy Parrish, who doesn't know how to check emails, apparently. He says, I'm delighted the search led us to John, who has invested significant sums helping to facilitate, rejuvenate the squad, bolstering and balancing the sheets, and enabling the club to finalize the academy. We look forward to working with John, who has a strong passion for football, yada yada. Then we move on to what John Textor says. He says, with Doug and Steve's leadership, my capital helped bring in Mark Gahey, Elise, and loads of terrific players. I was one of the 4 votes helping to endorse those selections. Is that not decisive control, bro? Is that not having any say? Or has he got the most expensive season ticket, as I keep hearing, in the Premier League?
No, we don't. We have the most expensive season tickets in the Premier League.
He does.
Oh, no, he doesn't. Because John Textor, talking to the Athletic, when he he put shares on sale last year, but then he ended up speaking to the Athletic, and this was on public record. He said that I regretted my decision to buy into Crystal Palace because I do not have the influence. Because John Textor has arguably 25% on paper, but arguably less than 25% of influence in the voting shares because of the fact that Steve Parish has a golden share. And second of all, Josh Harris and David Blitzer, they also agree with Steve Parish. So John Textor has never had influence, and that's the reason why he wants to sell shares.
Do you think his money had influence?
John Textor said
himself. His money had influence?
Owning. By the way, those shares that he's owned, John Textor hasn't owned it directly. That's part of Eagle Football Holding, which other people hold.
What
the
percent
shares.
was that? What percent was
It's a complicated matter. Look, regardless of the situation, you said
regardless
we're
now.
No. You said we're cheats. You're proven to be cheats. You got points deduction.
You do know. You just got proven twice in the UEFA court and then in the CAS court.
We never cheated anything.
Oh, you never cheated. They're just out to get you. They're just out to get the small club. Is that what it is? Is that literally what you think?
Yes, they are. And I can say this right now. If this was like a Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, or Chelsea, or any of these other big clubs, you think this gets off. The funny thing is, today John Textor owns 0 shares of Palace. Even when he did, he had no decisive influence. And we got hard done by because UEFA wanted to prove a point with this multi-club ownership thing, and they're against it. It's all a load of nonsense. What, like even a blind trust thing? The blind trust thing is nonsense. Maranaka's put his shares on a blind trust, and he's out on the football field crying with Nuno halfway through the season. If this guy has no influence, why is he on the field crying with Nuno? And saying, "Oh, why haven't you subbed off this player and that player?" It's nonsense. There's blind trust.
What I like about that, bro, is that you said you're the victim because they want to make an example of the small club. They made that example. I would assume you're saying against the big club, which was Forest. So by that, you already know your role and know your place. And what I'm going to say to you, bro, is after today...
That's nothing about that. You was next to man because you finished in conference place. It's nothing about you being the big club. You're not that team.
Okay, so why didn't they back the bigger club? Why didn't they back the bigger club if it's about big club then?
They didn't look at Forest and said, "Oh, they're a big club. Let's go pick Forest." No, you bottled the Champions League and you finish in the conference place, and that's the reason why you're getting it.
Let Errol ask his question, man. Let Errol ask his question. Go on, Errol.
Nah, I just wanted to know. Take away obviously the Forest and the Palace situation, obviously, because there's quite a lot of tension over on that side. Is this the similar thing that was meant to happen to Manchester United last season? But they had, was it Nice?
With Nice,
and then they was allowed to play in the Europa League, though.
Yeah.
So doesn't D kind of have a point though, as a big club that might okay?
Because it's about who finishes higher in the league, and Man U finished higher than Nice. Therefore, the lower team, the team that performed shitter over the course of the season, gets thrown down a position. So that's the narrative you'll hear from the Palace fans. Oh, Nice, oh, Man City and Girona and all this stuff. Yeah. The facts is, Errol, whatever way D wants to glaze this, he said to me the other time, if Marinakis hadn't put that letter in, we would have never got thrown out. Yet when I ask him what was in that letter, it's all he snitched.
He did snitch. He did snitch. The letter said
what did he say, Charlie? What did he say in the letter?
The letter said that Forest believe they should be in the Europa League.
You're chatting so much shit because no one has seen that letter.
It was on Sky Sports. The geezer was.
Oh, you mean the Sky Sports that announced it today? Oh, we have some bad news. Oh, Crystal Palace. Oh, Gary Neville got beefed with Marinakis and we hate Marinakis. No one has seen that letter, Charlie. Stop chatting shit.
So you're saying he didn't snitch then?
I'm saying no one has seen that letter. You don't know what he put in there. You don't know what he put in there. Okay. And forget the letter. The stupid thing from D is that I said to him, if Marinakis did not send that letter
on a level though, Wolfie, big man thing, yeah. Is that the dumb practice in football? The chairman submit letters at the end of each season to authorities and governing bodies just out of the goodness. Let's take away the banter element of it. Is that just standard practice, or could there be something in there that makes you think he sent the letter with a reason to send the letter?
Errol, I'm not saying what was in and what isn't because I didn't see it, so I don't speculate on what I don't know. My point is, Errol,
does that sound sketchy to you, or does that sound legit in a book?
Yeah, but wait, here's what's more sketchy. If Forest don't send that letter in, do Palace not get called up for multi-club ownerships?
Again, but then they probably don't. They probably don't. But that's
so UEFA won't enforce their own rules until
that's not a Forest or you can't really hold that against Palace. That's not a Palace issue. That's an issue with UEFA and the governing body, and that's what they need. They need an independent body that says, "I'm going a minute. You've got laws and legislations. We're going to uphold you to them," and that independent body should be doing that. But it shouldn't necessarily come from a chairman of a football. That technically, if whatever he puts in that letter, if he knows the outcome could benefit directly his football club, that's the game's the game, but that's kind of like
the game's the game, and we are speculating on the letter.
Yeah, we're speculating on it. But we know that there was. The point is, we know that there was a letter, and in a world where there is a letter, it's been used. It's the art of
Errol. What we know.
Errol. They wrote a letter to say to UEFA, like, you lot are great. Like, they didn't write anything about Palace. They're Brandon just wrote a letter to UEFA.
What did they write? What did they write? What did they write?
They just send them a letter because in Wolfie's deluded world. In Wolfie's deluded and all these Forest fans that are deluded. You didn't snitch. They just wrote a letter to UEFA.
No. You want to talk about snitching? No, D. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh,
hold on. You want to talk about snitching? Errol, just let me land this point.
But let me ask you one more question first before you land it. Yeah. If you should have got into the Champions League last year through your own footballing ability on the pitch, does he write that letter or not?
No.
Why would he?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me land a factual point for you. Hold on, because D can speculate. Hold on. D can speculate all he wants about what was in the letter, what wasn't. The real snitch, and let's see if your standards are consistent here, D, was Palace, because Palace, in their case, named Forest and Leon. Stupidity, by the way, because just by doing that, it meant we were allowed to come in. We were allowed to cross question Parish, by the way. So when you snitched on Forest and Leon, and you did because it was public record, are you okay with that?
No, we didn't snitch. We went to court to prove our point that we should be ahead of Leon, who apparently multi-club ownership model. No, and that's not snitching, buddy. That's not snitching. If Leon
it's not snitching.
Hold on. Let's break this down. Let us break this down. We didn't do what you done. If Leon and Palace are in a conflict of multi-club ownership model, we're going to have to mention Leon in that court case because that's the problem. And if Forest are taking our spot, we're going to have to talk about Forest. That's not snitching. That's called defending yourself. But this is the thing, Wolfie. You're living in your own little world with Marinakis and he's such a great... Look,
Mr. Marinakis,
I'm happy. Look, Wolfie, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. You're going to be able to compete in Europa League, and let's see how you do. But the one thing that I can say with chess is that I'm confident my team will get far in the Conference League, and we might win another trophy.
I hope you win it. I hope you win it.
I wanted to get
if you win the Conference League, that'll be 3 times the trophy that you've won in the last 25 years.
Who's getting further? Who's getting further? Forest
Well,
in the Europa.
Palace will win the Conference League. Palace will win the Conference League.
I think both do. I think both.
Glasner's a top manager in that Conference League, man. He'll done it.
I still think though. Look, D, like we've known each other years, bro. Right? We are still mates. I think we are still mates and everything.
No, we're still mates, but I still want your club to get relegated.
I get that, and I get the saltiness.
I will be hate watching every Forest because the way Forest have operated, it's just been cringe. You've hired an ex-referee to go and complain about
that was mental.
Which I wasn't for, by the way. Don't point that finger at me. I wasn't for that.
Since you got promoted to the Premier League, all Forest have been doing is giving us drama. How about we put Amazon cameras and have a reality show? Because that's what you're good for. Just put drama left, right, centre. Every other week, something new. Oh wait, Forest, they're gonna go snitch on Tottenham. I mean, it's not the only time they snitch. They snitch on Tottenham for Morgan Gibbs White. So Forest are known to be snitches this summer. They're known to be snitches. They're known to be creating drama. And this is who they are. So the quicker they get relegated, the quicker we can start talking about football, because this is the only time we've had this much headache over.
Wait, do you think Forest get relegated? Do you think
irrelevant club? We're talking about an irrelevant club causing all this fuss. How about you?
This irrelevant club. This irrelevant club finished ahead of you.
As normal, because we're an established Premier League club. You can't say that since the 2000s.
Are you okay? All right. So I've been in the Championship for 23 years and League One. Yeah. What's the highest Palace have finished in my time away?
10th.
10th.
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah.
You've had 23 years while I wasn't there, and the highest you can finish. What's your highest points? What's your highest points?
We haven't been in the Premier League for 23 years.
Here we go. Now the truth starts to come out.
This is the thing, Wolfie. You won't be able to relate because you haven't experienced this ever in your lifetime. But you can go watch YouTube videos back, and then you might be able to experience my YouTube videos. But I'm happy finishing 12th if I'm winning the trophy. A lot of clubs on here, Potts has been talking about.
For 124 years, you haven't been happy then, yeah?
Potts has been talking about trophy for Arsenal. I think Potts wouldn't mind finishing 6th or 7th and winning like an FA Cup or something, because they haven't won a trophy in a while. End of the day, what people normally talk about is trophies. So yes, we finished 12th. Yes, we don't finish higher than 10th, but I've seen my team beat City and I've seen my team beat.
That's quite Liverpool. Frankly embarrassing, bro. 125 years. You have
I think it's embarrassing that you're talking about 90.
We need to rewind it.
And you're coming on here with chess. I think that's more embarrassing.
D, hold on. We need to rewind it because Potts asked the question on who's going to win, like whether Palace is going to win the Europa Conference and how are Forest going to do in the Europa League. Wolfie, did you say that you think you're going to win? That both of you are going to win your European competition?
No. I said I'd like Palace. You're going to win it. No, I said I'd like Palace to win it, but I think we both get to the final with my Midlands brother. I think
so. We'll win it.
Get into the final of the Europa League.
I don't know who it'll be between Forest and Villa. I don't know. It'll be a tough match.
Bro, you're not making the final of the Europa League.
What's Nuno
if you say so. You hold that Conference League.
What's Nuno won apart from Saudi League or whatever? Did he even win the Saudi League?
Yeah, he won Saudi League, yeah.
Yeah, he won the Saudi League. That's what Nuno's known for. Like, how are you talking like you're going to get
Bro,
to the final?
Why are you talking about managers when your manager wants to leave? When your manager's not being backed? When your manager is saying one more week in the transfer window and I'll see. Hold on to your manager, D. Hold on to your players, right? When you're going over, who you got? You got... D, you're not even in the group stages yet, bro, and you're talking about winning it. Go beat Frankenstein, man. Go to that freaking, where is it? In Norway, man. They got cows outside the pitch. They'll drive you from the airport on donkeys, bro. You go to Frankenstein and you go beat them. Just get through that playoff, by the way, and then don't lose that first leg, because I don't want to see you resting players in that game in between those two legs, which, by the way, is against Forest. Right, so don't be losing that first leg.
Okay, where did Glasner say that he wants to leave? You're just talking rubbish. As you've been doing all your points.
So there's no.
I just want you to say something that's valid. You just talk rubbish.
Has he signed a new contract? Has he signed a new contract?
When has he signed a new contract? You can say that with other people and other managers. It doesn't mean they want to leave.
Is Glasner happy with your transfer?
Who's finishing higher in the Premier League? Come on, I want to get to it now. I want to get to the good stuff. Who's finishing higher in the Premier League?
Bro, if we finish above 12, you finish above Palace.
I'll say it now, Crystal Palace. I'll say it now.
Palace will finish higher next season.
Palace is still going to lose Eze most likely. What are they going to do with Gay? Glasnost could still go. Palace is a long time for 3 weeks, D. Long time in 3 weeks. You are not going to be that club. You are going to be playing Frankenstein in 2 weeks. You focus on that. The biggest match in your club's European history, your first match, is against a team in Norway that no one's heard about.
You know,
and I just want to say this to you,
what he says though. I'll share another evidence. Like, I like to share evidences when I'm talking. Unlike Wolfie, you just spouting stuff.
Like
so
the blind trust that you can't tell. I hear you.
I'll share my screen so you can. Because you're not making any sense. Because I'm looking at one thing on my screen and I'm hearing what you're saying, and it's like, are you really believing in what you say? Because one day ago, Wolfie, you made a video that has the following title, and this is clearly you. Potts, if you don't mind putting it on a screen. But we are not ready. This team is infuriating to watch. So So you're gonna win Europa League. You're gonna finish above us.
Or why haven't you liked it? Why haven't you liked it?
Because I literally just this is on my back of the next channel.
Is that subscribe? All right, subscribe. I hear that. All right, we're good. We're good.
Look, so do you believe in what you say? Because this is what you said one day ago, and apparently you're going to compete for the league. You're going to compete
because you're not understanding the context, D. You don't understand the context because you have to, you just live in that bottom half of the table. And I'm talking about not ready. I'm talking about the standards that Forest have set for Forest to go and do what they did last season, to have a proper European campaign, the thing we have heritage in. We are not ready for that. Are we ready to finish ahead of Palace? Bro, I wouldn't even waste my time doing a video on that. That's the difference, D. That's the standards. Have you not seen Arsenal channels doing we are not ready? What are they talking about? A relegation battle? Like, put some thought behind what you're saying here, D, and understand how bigger clubs work, bro. We don't ready for 12 in our title like you would.
I forgot how deluded you are. You think you're a top 2 club in it, so you're not ready to finish and compete. But then again, you said that you might finish the league. You put your hand up. You put your hand up when I saw it earlier in the stream. You put your hand up. Bro. You're talking about winning the league. Oh, you stretching? That's good. That's good to know. I don't know if this is stretching. I don't stretch.
I haven't predicted for it to finish.
That's interesting. Everyone stretches differently.
I was doing the Shahada as well.
But look, Wolfie, truly, how I think of you, I don't think you believe in what you say. I don't think you believe in what you say, because a club that scored 1 goal in pre-season in the last 7-8 games, and the way that you have all this chess, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But we've seen Nuno in the Premier League. I wish you all, I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Also, I'm looking forward to hate watching and hoping that you get relegated. And I think next season, Wolfie, it's going to be a massive humbler. I'm going to end on this. It's going to be a massive humbler. But good luck. Good luck in the Europa League. Good luck.
Thank you, bro. This is the point. I feel we had to have this chat. Bro. Because I said to you the other week, I think this is good for Palace because it's your first time out. You need to cut your teeth. Conference is a good one to cut your teeth into, bro. And I said to you, you needed stabilizers. Just don't go on the bike on 2 wheels. Get the stabilizers out and everything. And I love you, bro. We've known each other years, yeah? And I thought it's only fitting to congratulate you for winning yesterday. But I wanted to bring you a present, bro, so that you can think of me while you're on your European campaign if it gets past the playoffs. And I think this will help you kind of blend in, bro. So I went out and bought this for you, bro. So I got you some L plates for your first season in there. I send it with love to you. You got to hold the L as well for not getting into Europa, bro. But this will let everyone know that it's your first time out there, that those teams, those scary teams and Frankenstein and whatever, won't be too harsh on you, bro. And they'll take it easy. It's like when you see that learner driver in the car, you keep your distance. So hopefully that helps you, bro. I say it with love. For me, after today, I probably won't give Palace a thought till we play you in a couple of weeks. And then I hope you win the Conference League.
Yeah, I hope you win the Europa League, but I hope you get relegated in the Premier League. But Wolfie, I'll give you another present. I'll give you another present. If you don't mind putting this on the screen, Potts. Another trophy. The thing is, your club will never be able to tweet this, Wolfie, let alone trophy. So I will give it to you if you want it. Do you want a Community Shield? If you want it, I'll give it to you because you've never seen your team win anything in your lifetime. You can have it. You can have it because I've still seen my team win a major honor in the last 2-3 months, and you haven't in your lifetime. If you want it, you can have it. But as I've said, we've won more trophies than you scored goals in the last 2-3 months, and I have to end it there. Good luck.
I hear that. And could you, Potts, if you don't mind, I'll do a screen share myself. Yeah. Could you just show me Just
It's
wear.
screen share off, innit?
I was like, could you show me where in this massive trophy cabinet of yours that Charity Shield is going to go? Is it going to go next to that football at the bottom, or those we played for England things, whatever they are? I don't even know what those two in the middle are, bro. But where does your trophy fit in all this? And how have you got? What is this, bro? Talk to me.
You're looking at old photos, so that's fine. I mean, we can do this, but
well, can you tell us what's in there? If it's old, because I thought that was your first trophy. Can you talk us through these trophies?
When I go to Palace next, I'll record it and I'll send you a video and we can go through each individual trophy there and we can talk about the FA Cup as well as other trophies that we've won.
But I thought you won your first trophy in the summer. I thought you won your first trophy in the summer, D. What are these, bro? Seriously, what are these?
This is not a new one. But as I said, Wolfie, your trophy cabinet, some of the trophies that's gonna be in the cabinet, I've seen it in my lifetime. You haven't. That's a reality. That's fine. As you said. And Wolfie, by the way, you don't enjoy that. I don't think you're an old man, but you're not a young man as well. It's kind of wild that you haven't seen your team win a trophy in your lifetime. Whereas
I'm 23, bro. Plenty of years ahead of me, bro.
Yeah, inshallah. But one thing, do you think you're ever gonna win a trophy before the days end? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we've completed football, D. You know what I'm saying? We've completed football.
Football. Let me do these super chats, and then I've got one question to close for everybody. Big up to Locks, man. Blue tinted glasses. Make sure you're following Locks over at Leicester City Fan TV. Gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, Locks. Make sure you're following Blue tinted glasses, people. And big up to you and good luck. Hopefully we'll see you next season, Locks. Hopefully we'll see you again, mate. AMT says he thinks Forest could go to the final. Then how come they could not hold the top 5 position last season, Wolfie?
You do know Forest have the biggest win percentage in any club in Europe in European football. That's how.
And when was the last time you played in European football?
In the mid-90s. When was the last time you played in European football? When was the last time you played?
You haven't played European football.
When was the last time you played?
And you're holding a record since the mid-90s.
When was the last time you played, D?
Was the Premier League even invented? Was the Premier League even a thing?
Do you want it? When was the last time you played? Honestly, you actually went
Wolfie, you holding that L is going to come back and bite you on the arse this season.
When you lose games, that's going to get clipped. Sam, get on that. Get on Wolfie holding the L plates.
Sam will be on it.
Or now.
That is going to be.
Wolfie is not going to let you live if that goes back to him.
Bring it on.
Let me bring in these. Isak, big up to you, bro. Says there's no denying the Palace situation was going to affect our club, so it's not beyond reason for us to submit a letter to find out what's going on and how it will affect us. He also says, big up to Isak, it's not for Palace to define what deciding influence is. That's for UEFA to define within their rules.
Yeah, okay. What's the rule? Because in UEFA actually sent a memo. It's not within the rules. They just sent a memo to the clubs talking about decisive influence 30%. It's actually not in their rules. Go on, show me the rules. Because there's so many lawyers here, Forest fans. Forest fans, get your books out and show me what rule is of UEFA and decisive influence. Because decisive influence is nonsense anyways. What is the metric for decisive influence? Just looking at 30% of shares and saying that's decisive.
I'd say about 100 million's pretty decisive, bro.
Huh?
I'd say 100 million's pretty decisive.
No, that's just investment. We're talking about decisive influence. So who runs the club day to day? So
did Texter have a 25% share in the decision?
Yeah, it's 25% decisive now.
We've not already done all this.
Wait. How big was Parrish's share on that decision?
He has a golden share. So Parish has the last
What percent is that? What percent?
So that you know what? That's what we call decisive influence. When you have the last say, that's decisive.
So his influence was so decisive that he said he couldn't get Texter to put his shares in a blind trust. That sounds decisive.
Yeah, but
okay, we're going around again. Let's do this last one. Live, he says, couple cans out of the fridge, enjoying the stream down. Big up, bruv. Now, big up to you, man. Big up to the chat as well. We've still got 1.3k in here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, people. We hit 50k last night, so now we're on to the big 6-0, which is absolutely mad. So make sure that you do that, people, and following every single one of these as well. My last question for everyone is a quick fire one, and then we're going to close. There is obviously a lot of teams on this panel. Instead of me doing what everyone's top 7 is going to be, because we'll be here for another hour if we do that, who do we think on this panel is not going to get Europe for next season? Because we've got 9 clubs this season that are playing European football. We've obviously got all of us that are still here, including LB and including Deji. who is not going to be playing any form of European football next season?
I'll kick it off, Potts.
Go on, Charlie.
Forest and Palace won't play any European football in the 26-27 season, and I don't think Spurs will be either.
Charlie, you're such a contradictor because you just said they were going to win the Conference League.
Oh yeah, shit! I did say that.
Yeah,
I was more. Sorry, I was more thinking.
Lewis on the panel parts.
I was more thinking on league position. I'll take that back. Forest and Spurs are playing no European football next season.
Okay, Pete.
Oh, I think Villa might struggle.
Finishing outside top 7.
Yo, this is like Big Brother when people are getting voted out. Everyone's looking like, you got to go.
It goes back to my earlier conversation.
Man, they thought it was a blind vote, isn't it?
It goes back to my earlier conversation with Billy about not investing. That's what I'm going off. So, yeah.
Okay,
Billy, you've been voted out of the Villa, lads.
Not just yet. Not just yet.
I think Palace might win the conference.
I think Villa's got a good chance of the Europa League. I really do. I think they've got a good squad, so I think they'll win the Europa League. I think the only team, I'm not even taking a piss, I think it'll be Forest. I think we've got a good chance of Conference League. And by the way, with Palace, like we've seen it, we can go head to head against any top sides. We just have to stay fit. That's the only problem. If you sign a couple of squad depth players, if Wharton is linked to all these big clubs, we'll see with Gay Eze, of course, if they stay and that. But I think I think we've got a good chance of Conference League, even if Gay was to leave, let's say, if we can replace him. So yeah, I think we'll be playing European football next year. I think the only team here will be Forest.
Okay, Wolfie.
I think most get it again. Don't know about Palace. I just don't know. With the old plates and everything, it's tough. It's tough in Europe.
But we've proven to win, though. That's the thing. We've proven to win. You haven't, though, under Nuno. That's the difference.
We haven't in Europe. Really?
No, we've proven to go against top teams and beat them.
We're talking about Europe. The question was about Europe, bro. You're proving
but my
Europe,
manager won Europa League. That's what I'm saying. Your manager
have you?
You've proven it. No, we haven't. But it's not about us as a football club. It's about who's the man leading us.
Okay.
So the man leading us.
We've had this discussion. Emre's won in Europe plenty of times. Did he win the Conference League?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
No, he didn't.
Is his squad better? Is his squad better than yours?
I said this last time, and I think now I do believe that they will win it. I think they've got enough experience, and I don't think.
No. They were in the Conference League. They were in the Conference League with Emery, and
the teams we played were harder.
Oh yeah, you got my sister club. I hear it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm saying Palace miss out, and maybe Spurs. Hopefully Spurs.
Yeah, I hope Spurs do as well. Errol?
If I'm being completely honest with you, I think I'd back Aston Villa and Unai Emery. If they get to the latter stages of that competition, I think Unai Emery has got what it takes. It's a competition he's won many a times. I think if Forest want to be in that final as well and go head to head, I think what will be the defining factor for Forest this season will be come the back end, what do they choose to prioritise? If they're still in the Europa, do they go hell for leather to try and get them the trophy? Or are they still within touching distance within league points that they'll comfortably get some form of European football again? I don't think it'll be that comfortable in the league for them this season. So I think Forest are probably the most at jeopardy. However, and again, I think for the same reason we said before, I think these teams go and walk the Conference League. So Forest at the moment are the ones that have probably got the most at jeopardy. I think the others, will be quite fortunate in terms of the amount of our teams that end up in Europe again next season for all 3 competitions.
Billy?
Similar answers, to be honest with you. I think Palace will go on and win the Conference League. I think we'll be all right. I think Spurs might struggle to balance Champions League as well. Forest are the team as well that I'm not so sure about.
Okay, this is where I'm at. I think Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and Chelsea are guaranteed Champions League. I actually do think that will be the top 4. I think that Newcastle are going to get European football. I hate to say this, but I think Thomas Frank's going to make Spurs very hard to beat, and I think they might be my tip for 6th. I hope I'm wrong because I can't stand them, but I actually do think they'll do well. I think Palace will win the Conference League as well, and then I'm all on what happens to Wolfie and Forest. And I've got to be honest with you, bro. Last season, I was one person who thought Forest was going to do terrible, and it ended up doing well. So maybe I should say you'll do terrible again because you might do well again. I'm worried about the way you've been playing in pre-season, Wolfie. I haven't seen enough of you. I just go from what, in terms of Forest, but I just go from what I listen to your content, and I understand why you would be worried. I think there's been a lack of attacking football. I think the lack of goals is clear. But will you be hard to beat still? I think you might be. I think you might be.
5 clean sheets.
That's what I mean. You're defensively a very good side, so you're going to be hard to break down. So if I was to say a team, I would probably lean towards Forest like the lads. However, I think Forest are one of these teams that could surprise and be hard to beat. And I actually think they could be one of those teams this season that not decides the title race, but they'll be one of the teams that kind of, when a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Chelsea will come up against you, you might surprise and ruin our afternoon again. So I think that you'll still have a big part to play, but I have Forest definitely in the top half. I don't have Forest down in 15th and 14th.
Do you actually, Potts, have you seen even towards the end of last season, Forest fell off? What makes you think that?
Because the defense is Saudi and Nuno's system's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've changed the system according to Wolfie, and now they can't score goals.
Yeah, but we're still not conceding.
Nuno thought his Pep going possession ball. But
are you not the team that didn't win a game in the first 9 or 10? What changed?
What changed was the fact that we didn't change the system. We just grew into the season.
So it can change from getting no wins in 10 to getting wins.
When's the last time you even won a game?
West Ham.
Oh, so you haven't won no preseason games?
No, I get it. You're all hyped because you got a shield for a friendly game. I get that.
It's only preseason. By the time you won a game, we won preseason. Interesting.
I'll just say this. Look, in the words of the Greek father, at the end of the day, we always win.
You don't, though. Nottingham Forest don't always win. If you always won, then you'd be in Champions League spots. You straight
We're not in the conference, though.
You straight conference, and now you're in Europa League, I think. But I'm looking at your thing. So last season, you lost 2-1 to Villa. When's it like? So you beat West Ham. Who else did you beat before West Ham? I'm just literally scrolling up. You beat West Ham on the 18th of May, and then you beat Man United on 1st of April. So you won 2 games in 2 months.
I think we beat all the big 6 teams apart from Arsenal, who we drew with as well.
I think you're struggling next year. I genuinely
I get the copium and the hopium, bro. I like it.
I don't think it's copium. I think based on.
Do you think Forest are going down?
No, but I think you're fighting relegation. But like he was doing the season before. Remember, you barely stayed up. You didn't.
Okay, look,
we're going to
close
position.
Yeah. We're going to close. Otherwise, we will be here for another hour and a half quite easily. And I could quite easily do it, but I have got to get other stuff done. And people have got their stuff to do this evening. But listen, big up to everybody that's here, man. We're going to send you over to Dan United, who's talking about Donnarumma at the moment in relation to Chelsea and Manchester United. So big up to him. Big up to everyone that came on. Big up to LB. Make sure you're following It's LB and Deji Spurs, of course. Wolfie, what you got coming up? How can people follow you, bro?
Over on Forest Fan TV, McAtee is about to join Forest.
Yep, he is.
That's the next one, and Marinakis is about to open the checkbook even more. So it's going to be a busy end to the transfer window.
Yeah, it will, man. Absolutely. Billy?
At AV Billy. Just
Legend. Legend. Yeah. Errol?
Yeah, man. Go follow me on Twitter at the minute. It's just at Errol0151. And then we'll be back on Redmen on Friday for Red Cartel and the open curtain raiser for the Premier League. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Lock in. People.
Smash them. Please smash them.
Is that on Friday night, is it?
Friday night, yeah, man. We're kicking it all off. So we'll be there live and direct early. So get yourselves involved. Come down.
Love that. Charlie?
Yeah. All the usual stuff. Blueborough CFC. Transfers, quite a lot going on, obviously. Then, first game of the season as well against Palace on Sunday.
Love that. Pete?
Yeah, busy one for us. We're expecting more signings as well. We've got our own panel show, Top Table Talk tomorrow. A couple of the boys might be joining us from this panel as well. We've got match preview on Thursday, and then we've got the match reaction coming on Sunday. Sorry, hopefully. Billy might not like this, but hopefully we're looking at.
You're playing Bill.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Big up, bro.
Is Isak starting?
Definitely not.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. D?
Yeah, at D Palace and back of the nest. Of course, we'll be having reviews, reactions, previews. We're playing in the Conference League next week, Thursday. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be our first game. It's going to be at Sellers Park. So we'll be having
luck.
previews for that. Thank you. And also, you know, best of luck to everyone here, apart from Forest. Like genuinely, by the way, for Liverpool, yesterday, Errol, the way you lot started the game, it's looking scary, that attack.
And
I'm not even trying to glaze, but your attack was looking scary. Like, if you had Isaac, I think Isaac is just greedy. I don't think you even need Isaac. The only thing I'll say, look, you can't look at yesterday's performance and say that's going to be Liverpool. Like, these are all new players. We went with the same squad we played in the FA Cup. Like, you're only improved.
Didn't
So
look fit.
Next year,
Didn't look fit.
they're gonna be great.
I just want to say this as well. Sorry to cut you there at the end. I just want to say massive congratulations. Didn't get the chance to say it before, and I don't want people to think that I wouldn't have said it because we said it in the group chat last night. But obviously on stream, so big up every time. I think in the second half, he's fully
I appreciate
to get it over the line, man. He's held your nerve and you showed.
I've got to say,
big up, man.
I watched the game, and I'm not going to say I was disappointed with Liverpool. I wasn't impressed with Liverpool in the majority of the whole of the game. I thought the first way they started, I thought, whoa, this could be 3 or 4. That Ekatike goal was cold, I can't lie. However, Palace in the second half were class, man. I can't lie.
I was shocked as well. I feel like the second half, I felt like we were the better team. I don't know about the stats or possession stats or whatever, but I feel like we.
No, at one point he's had 70 possession for like the last 5.
That's crazy. That's crazy,
bro. And the mad thing is, again, we don't want to get into it too much, but Slot used to be second half manager last season. So the fact that Glasner did the masterclass on him yesterday, it was impressive to say the least. So big up, man. Hope you enjoyed it.
And you see the difference between me and you, I thought you were brilliant yesterday, and you should have had a penalty. You see the difference in class here, bro. You deserve it.
Wolfie, look, I respect you, but I still want your team to get relegated. That's not going to change anything.
What saltiness? I hear that saltiness, but look how I can come to you and say, well done.
It's not for you, it's for your owner. I want your owner to experience that game because they need to get humbled. But just quickly, by the way, about the league form, I know you all said, I'm not going to say we are going to finish top 7, but since 2025, we've only lost 5 games. I think in all competitions, Palace.
Interesting.
In 25 games. So we're in a nice bit of form. But I think that also depends on Eze and Gahey and if we sign some squad depth players. But yeah, look, I wouldn't rule us out. I think we've got some great players to push on in the league as well this year. I think we saw in the second half of the season last year.
Well, so you're getting Eze, aren't you?
Fuck knows.
Till Sunday.
Yeah, got till Sunday, mate.
I have no idea, man. I have no idea what's going on. I'm surprised that no one has got him yet if he's got a release clause. I think Gahey will go to Liverpool. And I think
I'm not against that as well. If
he's
I want to say,
I think Eze will go to Arsenal. I'm going to just say it because I just have to see it. Because Rodrigo's going to City. So we have to get Eze, man. We're screwed if we don't get Eze. It's just, I don't know.
You reckon, anyway. So do you actually believe that, though? Because I called it. I thought when he was first linked, I know you want to end it. I'm going to end it. When he's first linked, I thought, yeah, he's gone because the release clause is there. If Arsenal want him, they get him. But I've seen Arsenal in this position before, even dealing with Palace. I don't know how serious you lot are. Because I think if you lot were serious, you would have bought
first of all, I hear Palace don't want to accept anything below the release clause. Then I fear that, they're actually happy to go to 60. Then I hear Arsenal preparing 55 with 30 million up front. I have no idea, D. I ain't got a clue.
No Palace sources, by the way. No Palace sources confirm that.
The release clause was 68.
Surely Arsenal got 68 million to get Eze.
Exactly.
If he's that guy, and he is that guy, because he's proven it for Palace, why are Arsenal, like, this is another show for you on this channel, but why are Arsenal not slapping down that money, 68 million?
Because it's Arsenal.
All I say is don't make Isaac, don't make Newcastle use that Isaac money to go and get Eze. Don't make us do that. Come on.
You need that Isaac money first off.
I just don't get Arsenal with transfers, man. We're happy to go and slap 52 on Madueke, but we can't put 68 on Eze. It just makes no sense.
So Arsenal, under Arteta, not so Arsenal. I think that's so Arsenal under Arteta, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it always feels like you're missing one piece. There's always, I know Arsenal fans are going to get onto me, but I feel like there's always one excuse. Like you get it now. I feel like next season I can just see it lined up. Oh, we didn't sign a left winger. Now we got a striker. We didn't have a left winger.
Now, D, it's going to be we weren't favourites anyway. We weren't supposed to.
No. Like, that's. I don't think that's a valid excuse. We weren't favourites anyways. But let's see what happens. I truly believe. I said this a few weeks ago on your stream when me and Wolfie were going at it. Then when they first snitched. What's it called? I said it then when I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's likely because it just seems like you lot are trying to play the low ball game, which Palace will not be accepting with Eze when he spent that much on Madueke. So let's see.
Yeah, if we don't get Eze or Rodrigo or Lookman or Leao or somebody on the left, I will question that Madueke signing massively, and I would expect him to be getting 15 goals or 10 assists or whatever it be, because that
He's not. I
that
can
to
tell you
me
now, bro. He's not
is
doing that.
Mikel Arteta all over. He has to go and hold a massive L if that doesn't pay off. But I don't think. I think we will get Eze. I think we will. I think we have to. I don't think there's. We got to go pay 68. I think that we're trying to get it down, and you're just going to say no, and then we'll just have to pay the money. That's what I think. Apparently, I missed the super chat, and sorry about this, D, but someone was saying you were a crybaby, so you know it's what it is.
I'm crying with the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Yeah, I'm crying, man. I'm upset.
Pops, I forgot you signed Madueke, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete. My theory is Arteta's a freak, and I think he's going to start him left winger. I genuinely, that's my theory.
Well, he has played him. He has played him left wing the last 2 games.
Yeah,
against
I think
Villarreal and Atletico. Do you know what?
Yeah,
he
bro,
actually looked all right. He actually looked all right. I don't like the player, but he actually looked all right.
That's good then. See, so problem solved.
It ain't good. It ain't good. Trust me. It ain't good. But listen, let's get out of here, people, because a lot of people got to go now. And big up to every single one of you. Go show Dan United some love. And yeah, we're out of here, people. Laters.